want to welcome everybody here. It's kind of a special time for us. My name is Mike Boris. I'm a member of the Captiva Island Historical Society, and with me is Susie Berg. Susie is the president of the Captiva Chapel by the Sea Board of Associates. And we're here today to dedicate these two special plaques. I'll make a few remarks, then Susie will make a few remarks. She will, one by one, uncover each of the plaques. We'll do a toast, first at one and then at the other. And before we're all done, I want to make a few comments at the end. Some other people might as well, as to who and how this was all made responsible. We're here today to dedicate two plaques, one for the Chapel by the Sea and one for the cemetery. The plaques serve to recognize that the two sites have been designated on the National Register of Historic Sites by the National Park Service. The Chapel by the Sea area is considered to be a historic district, meaning that all the buildings on this property, that's the chapel, the parsonage, and the minister's study, are considered historically significant. The cemetery, while not as old as many cemeteries, is worthy of being listed because it's a pioneer cemetery, meaning that the original settlers to the area are interned here. Both these sites are very, very special, especially because they're remnants of how we all began. Everything on this island has changed over the years, and this is one of the few places where you can get a sense for how it all began. And I think most of us agree that these are very sacred and special spots, and even more so when you realize that we're sitting on a barrier island and these two sites have remained intact through all these storms for well over 100 years. Today we have thousands of visitors come through these two properties all year round, and the historic markers will tell respective stories for both of them, and I really believe they'll enhance their visit and give us a complete picture for what's going on here. I'm now going to turn that over to Susie, and she'll tell you a little bit about what's on the plaques, and then we'll have a toast.
May I add, before we have the toast, I'm going to need to have someone bring me a glass of champagne and that you go and get yours, because I'm going to say, please come up here by this wonderful plaque. The first time that I ever stepped foot on this sacred ground, my heart was swept away. I felt God's arms around me and the arms of all who have ever been here before. I know many of you have that same tale to tell. Each one of us has our own very unique story, and no one can take that away from you. To be remembered, to be brought to mind again, is a wonderful gift. Today, we celebrate that. The story of the chapel, the story of the chapel's cemetery. I think of little Anne and how she loved the island and how she went to Mr. Binder with her $50 gold coin because she wanted to be buried here. Well, she stepped on a rusty nail, and 1 year later, she died of tetanus. Many of you and many who have come before have spent time very gently, very carefully wandering through the cemetery. And there you see that precious little lamb where little Anne is buried. And you see other plaques and names of other people who have given so much to this island, making all of this possible. You see Hattie Brainerd and Herbert Binder, and we are so grateful for them. The placement of these historic plaques, our placement on the National Registry of Historic Places, means that this story is going to be carried on and on and on. The chapel welcomes all. The chapel has folks who have faith, little faith, and none. But the arms of the chapel are open to everyone. And now that we are a national site, just think how far those arms are going. I am just one who stands here for all those who love the chapel, all those who love the cemetery, all those who serve years ago, now, and will in the future. And so I'm just sharing the love that all of you also feel. Yes, tell me the old story of Jesus and his love. What a profound joy it is to now have the chapel we love, the cemetery we love, now to be known throughout the nation as we celebrate the placement on the National Registry. We know that the lovely stories of those who have come before and those who are yet to be here, that those stories will go on and on. Our chapel, our cemetery will be remembered. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right. Great, wonderful, pleasure. Be remembered. Thank you so much. So,
I think most of us agree that these signs are very in keeping with our island and this little special area.
Oh, here we go.